Hello, Hopkinson. This is New York and New Jersey. There we go. And this isn't even from the hurricane yet. These are forecasts of what's to come when there's remnants of the hurricane hit. Okay, that's not even the hurricane yet. See this flooding in the subways? You're gonna see more of that here pretty soon. All right, howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back. And here we are. Kill some of that music in the background there. All right. Look at that full halo CME right there. It looks like a big old eyeball, doesn't it? Looks like a big old blossom of a flower, kind of, too. And everything in my garden's blossoming and beautiful flowers and fruit and vegetation already coming up. So awesome. I just thought it blossom. Awesome blossom. All right, so while we're getting this loaded up, here we are, August 7th, 2024. Let me get this going here real quick and let this loop start playing here. And while that loop is playing there, I'm going to take a moment to thank you for taking a moment of your precious time to be here with this precious family. As these days wind down, time is very precious, okay? So that's why I keep saying your precious time, because it's very valuable, okay? I know it is, and I appreciate the fact that you guys take your time to come here, okay? It's hard to get people's attention anymore these days, especially with vital information. Okay, so thank you all for being here. You are precious family and precious to me. If you stick it out to the end of the show, you will understand what we mean by that. Okay, let me catch the opening frame here for bingo. Boop, boop, boop. Right there, right there. 024, August 7th, 2024. Opening frame. You can see the tail end of this event right here. There's something right there, a little darker object right kind of there in the center with what looks like magnetic field or something around it. Anyways, you can see the teardrop effect going back towards the sun. So we're opening up with the tail end of this event, okay? So let's just start marching forward. You can see it moving out of frame there. There's a good shot of it. Do I need to zoom or can you see that? Black round spheroids. Whoops, let me back up right there. Okay. They're hard to see. They don't reflect light. They like to grab plasma and absorb light and then rip it away from the sun when they interact and move on. Okay, here comes this event from last night. Here is well, you can see the very defined edge of our black round spheroid here. We talked about this one last night. Wait, I'll go back to the one. Yeah. Oh, there's a good frame right there. Here you can see the very defined images right there. The earth is grinding, yes. We had an event again today. The core and the shell are grinding. Anyways, there's this one that we talked about last night. I was just making an answer to someone in the chat there. Okay, that one moved out. Right in there. Other little ones that were probably attached get ripped away. They scatter like breaking a rack of pool balls. Okay, you see one scattering out down here, one going this way, the main one kind of, or a bigger one right up here, heading out that way. Let's see this one down here. And there's another good capture right there. We don't really need to zoom in on that. You guys can see it. Okay, something else zooming out right there. Something else got a bunch of plasma right there. That almost looks more like a disc-shaped object. This white V-shaped bow on the front. Usually the disc is like right there. Okay, other objects scattering up here as well. Then here comes our full halo CME. Boom, boom. You can see something kind of hiding out over here. This exiting the screen down there. Something over here. Up here is causing something as well. You can see this stretch, this flow going, these two defined wakes. Right, and there you can see is our object with the wakes going around it, okay? It's kind of hidden up in these letters. I wish they'd get rid of that. We really don't need this stuff. All that telemetry's we found another thing. All right, anyways, moving on. There's our object kind of moving out of frame up in there too. Now let's continue. Bing, boom. Okay, and we had a jump in data from 1900 to 2312. You see the big skip? So whatever probably starting to erupt from here, we catch it almost like tail end of it, something here, something else going on right there. That's 2312, and then the last couple of frames. And that's it. Okay, so let me go ahead and put that back into motion. Remember, we have a jump in data at the end there. But the motion, when we put them into motion, you can really see these objects. They're painted. You can see their shape. That one right there. The flow, the plasma that flows around it. That one actually changed direction. It did a little hook. Do you see that at the very end? Watch that again. Yeah, that thing kind of, it was coming out this direction and kind of went and drooped. It kind of drooped down this way. Interesting. NASA, you got some explaining to do. They'll never tell you. You'll never get a straight answer. All right, so coming on over here. Solar flux indice is 303. Let me move the arrow just a little bit. There you go. That says 303. I have never seen it even close that high. Last time we had solar flux indice that was like 279, almost 280. I've never seen it at 300 and break 300. So there is very high solar indices. Okay. Our sunspot number count went up 20. We're at 242. The area was getting way up there too. A lot of red going on there, but the solar flux indice at 303. I never thought we'd see the day when it would break 300, but here we are. Okay, really quick, while we're here, let's pop this open and take care of business here. Zoom in. Okay. $72 kind of rotating out of position. $74, one to watch. It's got complexity, the blue red, pretty close right there. Okay, 777 with a 3 in front of it. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better number right there, huh? Very, very complex. And we got, they're pretty close to each other. So this one is very dangerous. Center disk, too. I mean, we're below the southern hemisphere of the sun. We're not directly on the equator of the sun. We're located just south and out where our camera is, okay? Now, over here, 3780 means business. Look at how strong that one is, how strong this one is. We have blue complexity getting very close to this right here. Okay, so very, very strong, very complex. Here's another region circled up here that just popped up, starting to grow. 3781, another one. These are all kind of references, so when we get into articles, you'll know what we're talking about. Oops. Leave it there and then go like this. Okay, there is your solar flux indice, or your solar X-ray, goes X-ray flux. Your solar flux indice too. Okay. And there's your little map for today. Pretty bouncy, a little up and down, a little roller coaster ride. Our long duration one, we saw that one on the satellite. Okay, Jeremy, you're so funny. I'm laughing at my family in the chat here. Jimmy, good to see you too, sir. All right, back to reporting. So we had this activity that we've already looked at right here, and pretty amazing stuff. Right? Here's activity already going into tomorrow. I mean, we could go take a peek at it if you'd want. But you don't, really? You don't want to take a peek at what's going on in the future here, huh? Well, tough. We're going to do it anyway. There it is. Let's refresh for every frame. And bingo. Not much to see. We only have 9 frames. We should have more than that. But there it is. Opening frame right there, 024. Something, tail end of something going on here. There you can make it out. There's your object right there. Nice and round. Moving out of frame. And then something starting at the very end. Right there, 224, something starting to go again right there. All right, so quick little peek into the future. Hope you enjoyed. Last night it was off the hook. 110. There we go. All right, so back to our report. Geomagnetic forecasting, there's none for the 8th, okay? But now they're calling for G2 and G2 on the 10th. Remember what happened last time we called for a G2? It came in as a G3, okay? So whatever magnitude, G2, 3, 4, any kind of increase should not surprise us here. Okay, I've told you why, because those objects that are inducing the CMEs also have their own radiation trailing with them. Okay, geomagnetic radiation. All right, so CME might brush us, but the object itself radiating stuff can kick up the storm level. Okay, so hopefully it stays at G2. Hopefully it's even less. It's G1. All right, I do not want to see 2 days of G2. I'd much rather see all this go away. But we're forecasted G2 and G2 on the 9th and 10th. Okay, our X flare potential just went back up to 25 in the red. M flare is 75% potential. Okay. These AR-77 is a type 2. All right, it's getting a little crazy in AR-77. 74 is also kicking out these type of readings here. I want to talk about right here. Here we go. We have 3780 that I showed you is beta gamma delta. We have 3777 beta gamma delta. 3774 is beta gamma delta, and this one, there was four of them, I think. Well, anyways, three of them right there. That's a lot. This one, 777, is still growing. All right, so we got a bunch of, X flare potential facing us right now. Meanwhile, over here on the geomagnetic field, roars are really weak right now, so it's not very strong. We're not taking on a bunch of energy. Over here, our KP did go up a little bit, but to only 3. I mean, we were way down here under 2, so that was that was good. I like to see it when it's low like this. It means we're not absorbing a bunch of energy. It's starting to climb back up, though, so latest readings will probably go a little higher because it's unsettled right now. Okay, before we get into the tracker, well, let's just do the tracker really quick. Get that out of the way. All right, here's your CME that everybody's expecting. Not this. Well, there's 2 different versions of it. Sorry, we're going to open it up so I can control it. That thing's jumping around too much. Please, Lord, thank you. Okay, here we go. It's loading up. And bingo. I'll just slide down like that. Let it play. So here's impact at Earth around the 10th. Plasma speed's not or the density's not too dense, okay? But the velocity's pretty high. Okay, so it's going to come out, smack us around the 10th, all right? So this cusp of the 9th, 10th right here is where we'll possibly start experiencing our geomagnetic storming. Okay, maybe even a little bit earlier. We'll see. Okay, and then remember the 10th here, this cusp, the very transition of the day when we get to the weather report. Okay, because it can affect that. Backing up here, let's go. AR-377 just produced an M5. This latest event is associated with a Type 2 radio emissions blackout with an estimated velocity of 792 kilometers per second. That's not per hour. That's 792 kilometers in 1 second. An update regarding the possible CME will be provided. Coronagraph imagery does show that an earlier 4.5, around 3774, did generate what appears to be a faint partial halo. The CME directed mostly the south and west. Also, of interest is a faint full halo CME appearing around 1500 UTC. That one may have been far-sighted, however, and not Earth-directed. Okay, so the one that we were looking at, the big halo CME, the Blossom, is possibly far-sighted and may not be Earth-directed. So we looked at that. After 4 days of website funding, 70%. Well, they make their 100%. I love that website. If I had access to funding, I would fund them. Geomagnetic Stormwatch 1 and possibly 2 CMEs are heading for Earth following the M-class explosions from AR-74 and 77 also. Their arrival on August 10th could spark the G2 to G3 class, okay? They're starting to come around and see if these things are possible, strength change. So could spark G2 to G3. There's the China launching their satellites. Weird how theirs does this weird kind of thing and ours doesn't, and how it just happened to coincide with what we saw approaching. There are no coincidences. So is the Earth grinding? Well, it was. We had a pretty decent, grinding session right there. Pressure. Well, energy came in from the sun, hit the magnetic field, got directed to the poles. The poles directed it to the core. The core heats up and swells. It causes the magma to heat up and swell, the outer core to heat up and swell, and then the outer core, for lack of a better term, it expands downward onto the core as the core is expanding outward, and they hit each other and grind. The core is spinning inside the shell, generating the magnetic field. You understand how that works? If you ever had a toy electric motor that you hook up to a battery, it makes the little motor spin and it spins a little fan or something, right? Well, if you took it and undid it from the battery and held the motor and just spun the fan manually with your hand, you would generate electricity out the other side, out the wires. Okay? The engine turns into a generator. If you turn the shaft manually, electricity in, spin the shaft, electricity back out. Okay? So you can, the dynamo inside the earth, the core spinning inside the shell, generates a magnetic field that pops out off the surface of the planet. Okay, that's your magnetic field. It hums like high voltage wires hum, and it hums at a certain frequency, which is 7.83, and that's your Schumann 7.83 line going across. Well, it's been very disruptive. It's very intense here. Back here, it was normal, going along little pulses. Very intense. Weekends here, gets intense, and then back to normal, little scratch, back to normal. Okay, so this can disrupt your mood. It plays games with you a little bit in the background without you knowing it, and it's also an indication of pressure and of pressure release. I should have called this one 3-in-1 because Mount Etna has 3 vents on it now. It's not just a volcano with one opening at the top, it has 3 openings now. So Mount Etna is a 3-in-1 volcano. Now it went from partially active to 3-in-1, and is being a new relief valve, relieving pressure. So when pressure builds up pretty intense like this, volcanoes go off, earthquakes go off until it tapers off and we go back to normal. Okay, so let me just refresh, make sure we're getting all the latest data on that one. Okay, it's starting to get a little more intense right here as we go into these next day here. Okay, so important you know how to do spiritual work, because this going on in the background can ruin your day without you knowing it. Even if you're well defended, it affects somebody else, and then they'll step out of character, and you'll be like, whoa, why is this person acting like that? Well, this is going on in the background. Okay. Coming on over. Let's get her done. All right. Already set up the sandstorm. You can see it's still kind of way out here reaching out. Almost cleared the entire Atlantic. It's right out here by the barrier islands now. Okay, so that whole region is covered with sand right now. Is also covered from Hurricane Genesis, thankfully. Okay, so sandstorm's got our butt covered for right now. That's good. Meanwhile, we have this one over here you can see generating, and of course, Debbie. Okay, and it's still lingering, just picking moisture, more moisture, and throwing it on the land, flooding all kinds of places. And I showed you New York and New Jersey flooding out. It hasn't even reached there yet. Those are precursors of what's to come for them. All right. So sandstorm still knocking down hurricane production. Thankfully, just the one. You can see our loop taking it back out. You can also see our our outside loop is starting to come back up, but it's still shoving over here to the Pacific, bringing sand over to the Pacific side of Mexico. Okay. Backing out or backing up, going around this way, you can see Saudi Arabia is still very intense there, picking sand up, throwing it at India. Also up here, very tense, very dense, very intense sandstorm, and the Gobi Desert one seems to have calmed down. Okay, there's your sandstorm report. Let's keep moving. Take that off. Do some SO2. Spin this. You spin me right round. All right, here we go. Here's your nation divided, bleeding out on one side, volcanic perforations in the other. All right. and flooding in the region. You can totally tell, blocked up all the holes, not allowing the gas to come out through the perforations, the pores that are in the ground, like pores of your skin. Okay, so just patchwork right here. You can see when it gets blocked up that the sites nearby beef up in their production because of the blockage. All right, so you see a little intenser plume of SO2 emissions right here because this is blocked up. But once all that dries, that water flushes out of there, the perforations open back up, that'll fill back in. Meanwhile, over here on the West Coast, big issues. Let's do our fire report at the same time, shall we? Now, as you noticed, when I turned on the fires, a lot of them are at our SO2 emission sites, all right? The gas comes out of the ground. This is the gas surrounds the magma down below, comes out of the ground so hot that it causes spontaneous combustion of the surrounding vegetation and sparking wildfires. Most of our wildfires, or a lot of them, are being sparked by SO2 emissions. And this was a bad, Canada had a bad case of it last year. And still, you can see up there, it's still going. These SO2 plumes, there's fires all the way up there to North Pole. Well, not North Pole, but way up there. Okay, and now this activity is slowly inching further south. And now it's into Washington and Oregon. And when we look, we go to Mount Rainier and some of these volcanoes are spewing so much SO2, they're having little fires. Boom. This site here, really going off over here. This is where that new plume came out of Oregon, kind of made the 120-mile long shadow. Okay, here we are at the fire in Northern California. Down here as well, and it's creeping. It's creeping south. What is spinning around here? Get out of there. Oh, shit. Come here. Come back, Lord. Bring it back, please. There we go. It's coming back. Dang. Let's try it again. Sorry about that. There we go. Anyways, back to business. These fires are starting to scooch further and further south. We did see some fire activity at plumes here in northern Baja, but they seem to kind of tapered off. And what we're starting to see is fires east of this line popping up because of plume activity. And there's a couple right there. All right. And let's keep moving. All right, so mainly just up in this region, fire activity. Some of the stuff in the south is tapered off. I wanted to look over on this side. That doesn't... nah, not quite yet. That one, maybe. All right, well, there's your fires for right now. Now let's come on over. I want to take this off. And we go back to chemicals. Bio. None. Chemical. SO2. There we go. Whew. All right, so we got the fires off there. So as we come all across Pacific, check on Hawaii real quick. They're doing okay. Same kind of emissions from before. Let's go down Mexico. You see South America, very intense along this coastline. There used to be a bunch of purple squares right in here, and they're dissipated because our big quake region right there, that's what we were talking about last night, just north of this fulcrum point. Come on, mouse. Quit playing games. All right, Fulcrum Point, just north of it, this region right in there. Okay, it used to have a bunch of little purple squares in it, and now they're dissipated. Okay, our fulcrum point, meanwhile, getting nice and bright and defined. This one pretty dark. Okay, so a little bit back to normal activity there. Going down, you can see very strong emissions from there. That relieves pressure along this plate boundary right there, so we don't see big magnitude earthquakes along this plate boundary along South America. Okay, come on over to this side of the world, adjust for their time. Go. And you can see very, very, very concentrated emissions coming out of all of that region, even going up in here, down into the Korean Peninsula now. Japan having its issues because of the volcanoes on that island. Here we are at Taiwan. Hasn't had very much quake activity in a minute, so it's relieving pressure in the area. It's been our little relief valve, but it's relieving pressure via the SO2 emissions instead of earthquake activity. So, trying to get right. That's about as good as it gets, I guess. All right, so you see little dark emissions here. I want to come check Java. Nice and dark in this region right here. Plenty of SO2 coming out of the ground because pressure's building in this region. And the volcano system, earthquake system isn't quite enough to relieve the pressure, the SO2 also. So we're seeing quake and volcano and SO2, all three at the same time. Okay, also over here, Australia got its issues. Even New Zealand. For all you thought you could escape to New Zealand, yeah, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. So, whoa, that looked like a wolf for a second. What the heck? An ear, an eye, the nose, the nostrils with the mouth open, the chin. That looks like a. Okay. A horse, maybe, too? A horse or a wolf or. Whoa. Okay, and as you can see, India's got its issues. Saudi Arabia, all through this area. Okay, the only place, Sahara Desert. Okay, enough of that. Now, everybody take a deep, pony or something there. Everybody take a deep breath, okay, because we're going to go over to the ocean. We're going to put on the SSTA, and when I put on the wind, no. Okay, here we go. Same kind of structure out here since yesterday. This plume out here seems to be kind of more getting round in shape. We still have this, comma tail coming off of it, but looking more round, concentrated, just off the coast of, Oregon, Washington, Northern California, all the way down to Baja, okay, because that's your latitude right there. Okay, so big, huge plume of heat going on out there. There's some kind of emissions coming out of the ocean floor causing radical heat changes in the water column. Okay, magma, hot water, steam, all kinds of different all kinds of different stuff coming out of the ocean floor. All right, heating up the water. The water also controlling the air currents here in a minute, but there's your plume. We need more activity, earthquake activity out here to relieve the pressure. We will be seeing it here soon. Meanwhile, there's this out at Tamumasi, more concentrated stuff. Here's a cold water plume right next to hot, so we're going to see some vortex action there. All right, meanwhile, the top of the planet, we had a big ice dam flood up in Alaska. Here, let me show you Alaska here. It's not as bad as it was, but this whole coastline had heat plumes all the way around the edge. And now you can see heat plumes up here, the northern part, all the way down to the coastline there. Look how these islands got cold water now. Wow, interesting. Okay, let's put on the air currents. And you can see that the hot air that comes off the ocean, these heat plumes create warmer pockets of air where the water's warmer. Cold air over the colder water pockets. So these colors can translate to air temperatures pretty much as well. These are ocean temperature anomalies, but there are air heat anomalies matching these signatures, and that's why the air patterns are flowing the way they are. They're following the heat signatures. Okay, our big vortex that was rotating here has changed. Look how it's getting this more of almost a little conveyor belt going again. All right, this little bubble up here, this cold water has pulled stuff up here. So it's something has disrupted our flow pattern. There's been a new opening, or this thing is increasing. That's what it's happening, and cold water inundation coming in too. Very interesting to see what's happening here. This has been kind of a crazy trip. Meanwhile, cold water, hot water, vortex, you're going to see another big storm kick up here and probably go up. Well, see the storm track? It'll go up through there, probably. Bam. Meanwhile, over here, over here at Taiwan, you can see we're starting to get yellow around the region. Let me take off the winds now. Thank you, Lord. Okay, starting to see yellow build up because we haven't had enough earthquake activity in this region. SO2, but it's not enough. This whole bay used to be isolated cold water, and it's heating up too. So a lot more pressure building up, pushing more magma to the surface, coming out through the perforations in the crust. Our relief points aren't able to manage enough yet. Here we have some cold water back at Java. That's a good sign right there. All right, back with the wind. Let me show you the Atlantic. Talk about that. All right. You can see the air currents induced by heat signatures. Our sand plume down here, keeping all the hurricane genesis at bay. As soon as that sand production stops, it will be on, okay? But right now, we're getting, thankfully, that sand plume. Look at this new heat signature popping up here off the coast of this. This could change wind patterns. If for some reason something starts to flow this direction and blocks that sand and keeps the sand from coming all the way across, let's pray that it keeps pulling sand off, okay? That sandstorm is good now. But that new heat plume right there, not good. Because it could generate a vortex that's going the opposite way, rotating the way my arrow is going, and that would disrupt that sandstorm. We need that big, long arm of sand diffusing convection, because that's what it does. The sand keeps convection at, in thunderstorms at bay, and it's the thunderstorms that create the hurricanes. So the sandstorm keeps hurricanes at bay. But we'll have to watch this because it could do an opposite rotation, and that would not be good. Meanwhile, let me just kind of leave it right there. You can see your wind patterns, how they've changed. Oh, excuse me. Probably make you guys yawn too because they're contagious. All right. Meanwhile, kind of want to just go into the Gulf here, let you see the air pattern flows. Once this hurricane's kind of up and out of here, do you see how this pattern's starting to come through here again and kind of creep up through the Gulf? That's what was kind of holding that activity at bay for a while. As soon as it moves up through the coast and hooks up with the conveyor belt, moves on out, it wouldn't surprise me if this thing, when it moves out, gains strength and comes out of this guy's mouth and it blows down this tube and hits Spain, Africa, whatever. We'll see. Very interesting. All right, we got to keep moving. We're going to leave that there and come over to the earthquake. Ooh. Oh, help me, Lord. All right, let's get her done. Deep quakes. We have a 5.0 down at 463. I'm surprised it says 5.0 and not 4.9. That should be a 4.9. You know what we do here with 5.0s, right? We knock them down to 4.9 so our 4.9 list can maintain its superiority. Okay. Now I'm being silly. All right. So finally a 5. What was the depth on that one more time? 463, not totally deep. Okay, let's go down 4.7, and that's even shallower at 395. So no totally deep quake today. Just, down at 463. That's about as good as we get. Put some energy at the surface here on the plate boundary. Now there's a 4.9. There we go. What do we do with 4.9s here? 5 down deep, 5 at the surface. Come through here. Look how quiet, eerily quiet that is. This whole region, just nothing. We got one Fulcrum Point quake right there, 4.5, and then this, 4.3. That's down at 449. But that is not enough quake activity in that region. You know what? We are seeing a quiet spell over on this side of the world because of all the energy that's being released at Southern California. We did that one. This is the one I want to see. There's a couple here. All right, finally. Can we close that up? Here we are at Greece with 4.1 at the surface, 4.9 or a 5 at the surface, and a 4.8 surface. So some energy being relieved right here. This plate boundary kind of taking a corner here. So it comes up, bends, comes, and bends again. Where would be the apex of this corner right here? Either right there or right here. And this is kind of like a multifulcrum type ding, 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 ding. See, energy wants to go in a straight line. It doesn't want to change direction. So, bink, bink, bink. That's a Fulcrum Point quake on that plate boundary. And when we look at the depths of them, see, they're all at the surface. You can almost see that this, let's get you, that was good right there. Take this out of there. Slow down, Brian, and breathe. Okay, hopefully you can see that this is like a pointed tabletop, okay, that sticks out and then everything goes down. This red line is very deep. It's like almost not a trench, but very down on the ocean floor. All of this coming up, stacking up 3-dimensionally up to the surface. This whole thing is like a plateau, all right, with little points sticking up above it, fulcrum point, and then it goes down into the water, okay, down to the plate barrier boundary. So that little plateau table-like type effect, there's your fulcrum to it right there. Whoops. And your Fulcrum Point quakes. A lot of activity going on through there. Not talking about. Meanwhile, here, 5.1 at the Cocos plate, down at 42, probably in our weak zone. A couple of them here. on the plateau up here, same effect. Just like a tabletop, it's all flat, and then this wall drops down to the valley down here, this big deep trench down there. Up here on the tabletop, or down in the tabletop, we'll say, your 5.1 and your 4.3. This is a weak zone where it's all water saturated land. Okay, just like at the beach, you could dig down a foot or so and hit water. All through this zone is all water inundated land. Well, this is water inundated land that's underwater. A weak zone. Quick magnitude check over here, 3.4 and 3.6. Still high on magnitude over there, so you're usually mid-range 2. Okay, let's dive into America, shall we? Wait, we did South America. Fulcrum Point quake right here, please. You're 5.1. Another 3.8. And a 4.3. Okay, good. All right, now, all magnitude diving into America. Close that out, please. You guys know what muscle memory is? Imagine having your hands dead. Feel like 2 dead chunks of meat at the end of 2 poles. And you're trying to do everything by muscle memory. All right. Microquaking activity at volcanic islands along here. Okay. Indication of pressure down below. Good magnitude check here. 3.8. Good. Also, quick magnitude check here. 3.830. Okay. Here's another good one. 3.1. All right. Good. So, basic magnitude 3 activity coming in. Just checking some of our fulcrum points. Okay. Odd quake out here. Diverse quake. Make sure there's no volcanic. Kind of out in the tundra out here. No, it's just kind of tough looking hills. Yep, there's your diverse quake. Okay, it's not in its typical pattern, not a plate boundary, not on fulcrum point. This fulcrum point goes way up there and down, so this is way out on the edge. So that's kind of different. Okay, we did all those. Coming on down now. Let's hop into the Juan de Fuca, shall we? Nothing on the plate boundaries in here. That's getting unnerving. And we need to see some activity going on in here. Mid-range 5, and lower. Nothing too big to trigger tsunami activity or do devastation, but the longer it holds out, the bigger the quake I think is going to be. You saw the pressure that's building out in that region on the heat anomaly map. Meanwhile, that would almost be a diverse quake. It's inside the plate boundary. Energy is starting to, it won't snap here at the plate boundary. It's pushing inland now. Okay, I want to also come up here. Take a little tour. Puget Sound looking all good. Here's a quake on the flank of Rainier. Here's a quake at the top of St. Helens. They're microquakes, no big deal, but they're a sign of activity, the pressure down below. Fluctuations in pressure down below. Increases, decreases, and then another increase. No fulcrum point quake today. Very quiet kind of, and no current activity around the geysers. Usually we have a little bit more there. Oh, whoa. All right, let me give my hand a break for a second. All right, so again on the Pacific Plate side of the boundary, Bodega Bay, coming into the Hayward area, Hayward Fault area. 2.1 Alamo, Pleasant Hill, south end of the fault there, 7 trees. Now, the big elephant in the room. Now, a lot of reports from a lot of different channels today. A lot of people have different ways of viewing this. It's an earthquake, and these are all aftershocks. All right, well, any quake after a quake, a major quake, can be considered an aftershock. Okay. There is also another pattern forming called quake swarms, where a bigger quake releases the energy in the area, and then the new weak spot continues to swarm out with a bunch of energy. And that's what we're seeing here. This is like way overboard for a 5. What was it, a 5.4 or whatever that hit here? So if it was a 7.9 that hit here and we had all these, that would make sense. But this is different. It just doesn't look like your normal 4.4. Some of these are 3.3, 3.8, 3.6. See, some of these are mid-range. They're not micro quakes. They're not, they're different little quakes. They're scattered all over the place. You usually see an epicenter and then a tight pack of aftershocks right in the same area. This is diffused out over this whole region here. This is what I consider a quake swarm, and I love these. These are perfect. Do you see how much energy is getting released? I started going through these. These are 3s and 4s and 3.3, and that's a lot of energy. We tacked all these magnitudes together and came up with a grand total of 9.5. Well, that could just save the region a magnitude 9 or something big because of a quake swarm. And it's continuing. It's ongoing. Quake swarm will cause other regions to be really quiet because it's doing all the release of pressure, right? All the pressure that was in this area traveling under the ground, under the ocean, wherever the newest vent is, wherever the weak spot is, it's all going to come out and start rattling this new path of least resistance. You see how every place else is very quiet. It's not currently active. This place, how many red dots we got here? We got 1.6, 1.4, 1.2, 1.4, 1.3, 1.3. All those just popped off in the last couple minutes. So we got a quake swarm, a new path of least resistance, a new weak spot. Good spot to have it too, because it's just down. It's upstream from this, cutting off their magnitude down here. Okay, so energy wants to come in, going to be released right there, just like the hole in the inner tube, and then whatever remaining pressure has been weakened, to have been released right there, weakening the magnitudes down south. Okay, we got a swimmer out in the Pacific. All right, so there's your quake report. Oh, we need to get in here. Just real quick. Texas, New Mexico, 2.6 highest magnitude there in Texas. I'll take a peek at this. 3.4 in a Stonewall. Well, I know why that's there. That's not a quake. That's an indicator that everybody is stonewalling on the truth. You talk to Congress, you talk to the media, talk to any of these clowns, they are stonewalling. 1.5. Ask the director of the FBI, nothing but stonewalling. Ask any kind of government official, stonewalling. You know what that means, right? It's covering for each other. When you see stonewalling, they're guilty. I know human behavior. I know it well. Stonewall. All right. God speaks through all kinds of weird ways. All right, so there's your quake report. Now we can just take out some of these instruments that are blocking some stuff. We'll get on with our quake or our volcano report now. Get her done. And 34 and 29. Uh-oh. We have 63 volcanoes. Not 62, but an added one. We are up one new volcano. And if I had told you 7 years ago when all this stuff started happening to me that we would have 63 active volcanoes and, all kinds of stuff on the ocean floor, you just would have said, dude, you're crazy. Well, here we are almost 7 years later, and it's really happening, and I'm still crazy. Crazy for you. Crazy about you. That's why I do this. Come on, don't even try me today. All right, here we go. August 8th. Whoops. Where'd it go? There it is. Today, August 8th, 2024. Suwanosejima. Suwanosejima. Explosive activity continues. 4,000 feet. IBU, Ibu, in Indonesia, 8,000 feet out of that. I need to take some ibuprofen. All right, Luatobi, read more. No, I'll get another ad. Dempo, here we go. Sumatra, Dempo, here's our new one on the list. Okay, eruption reported. Doesn't say how high, though. Probably pretty good one. Ducono, 7,000 feet. Santa Guido, Fuego, Sangay 21. Notice how every day Sangay is on there at 20,000 plus. Same with Sabancaya. Both of these are just every day. Sangay, Sabancaya, 21, 22. Those are huge plumes. And it's every day. Sabancaya, every day Sangay. So just getting crazy. And that was just in the last few minutes, okay? Because here we are, August 7th. Let's do today, which was now yesterday, because time flies so fast at this channel. Okay, here we go. Etna, following the latest lava fountaining episode on August 8th, the 5th in a row, a new spatter cone appears to have formed. Yes, we have a new cone. This is indicated by the Sentinel-1 satellite imagery. Or you could have just seen the 3 plumes that were coming off the top at the same time. Ebiko, 10,000 feet. Nishinoshima, that's the one with the discolored water. Okay, we got all kinds of pressure in the region. This thing's about to go. Another wave of pressure bounced something out of that, I bet. Okay, Sakurajima, 10,000. Suwanosejima, 6,000. IBU at 8,000. Luatobi, 10,000. Semaru, pumping at its 15. Shishalden, again, this is an Aleutian-esque, no identifiable. A sip of water here. Okay. Nothing identifiable, but Shishalden on the list. Santa Guido, 14,000. Fuego, 15. Nevada del Ruiz, kind of getting active here. Following report. Sangay, 24. Reventador. Sabancaya, 22. All right. These lists are insanity on a screen. Okay. Do not look at these lists. They will desensitize you to the sense of urgency that we need to have about this topic. Understand, minor activity means they're still active. There's plumes, there's smoke, there's steam, there's ash, there's not necessarily a huge volcanic plume erupting every day out of them, but they are active. This whole list, and any one of these could blow at any time and go currently erupting. Currently erupting. Let's do this dance. Which shall I read? Let's go. Barren Island, Bizamani, Ducono, Ebico, Erebus in Antarctica. Okay, could melt some ice down in Antarctica. Etna with 3 cones now, the 3-in-1 volcano here. Erta Ale still going. Fernandina in the Galapagos Islands, it has those lava arms, fingers reaching down it. Fuego, Home Reef and Tonga. Ibu, Iwo Jima. Here's Krakatoa in the Sun to Strait. This is the son of Krakatoa, currently erupting. Luatobi, Luatolo, Marapi, Masaya, Murapi, Michael, Namiragira, Niragongo, Popocatépetl, Reventador, Sabancaya, Sakurajima, Songay, Santa Guido, Semeru, Shivalu, Stromboli, Suwanosejima, Tinakula, Villarica, and Yasur are all currently erupting. Meanwhile, over here, Ulawan, Ubinas, Tofua, Svrensky. We're reading about Svrensky in Iceland all the time. Okay, San Cristobal, Ruang, Rayung. Okay, swap the UA and the AU. One's in Java. Okay, the purple island of Java. That one could hop over there anytime. Purase, Poas, El Danino, Nishishima, Nevada del Ruiz, we were seeing stuff out of it. Millon, okay, Manam, Kluchevskoy, Karinsky, all of these, look at this. There's Dempo that just had one, should go over here. Cotopaxi, that's an old one that woke up again. Concepcion, can you grasp the concept? Canalone, all right, so craziness. 62, 63, 184 to 186. That's a lot of volcanoes underwater and on land that are currently active, if not currently erupting. All that ash in the air makes for bad weather. It's particulates. See, water likes to adhere to a particulate and create a raindrop. The more particulates in the air, the more raindrops. Also, are stronger storms. The whole ball of wax. So while that's loading up, I showed you at the opening, not a lot, that there was severe flooding in New Jersey and New York, and that was before any of this strong stuff hits them. Okay, you guys hopefully paying attention to Mike from COT, because he's very, let's just say he put a warning out there, but he only says it like once really quickly and then moves on. But the warning that he announced and should be taken very, very seriously. All right, we're already seeing flooding in New York, New Jersey. You saw some of the subways with water coming out of the ceiling, right? Already. Now, this is the nighttime of August 7th, morning of the 8th, noon, convection, nighttime. Whoops. I needed to leave that one other instrument up. Hang on just real quick. We got to have this. Okay, August 8th, no geomagnetic storming, but on August 9th, G2. That's the nighttime of the 8th. Possible enhancement. G2 style. If not stronger, hopefully not Okay? That's the morning time. People are going to be waking up to tornadoes, severe weather in that area in the morning of August 9th. As we come up to the noon time, you see this going through Pennsylvania up into New York. Add enhancement to that. Okay? When we were looking at this the past couple of days, it was with G0 without any kind of enhancement. Now, all of a sudden, we have something that's erupted and it's going to affect our weather on the 9th, G2. And it said that impact was on the 9th, 10th cusp. So, right at this line right there. But if it arrives early, okay, we don't have exact timing on it. So, it could possibly arrive a little bit earlier. That's the noontime of August 9th. Possible enhancement. The convection of August 9th, possible enhancement. Nighttime of August 9th, possible enhancement. 10th, noon. Convection, possible enhancement here on the 10th, too. Nighttime, morning of the 11th, noon. Convection, nighttime. 12, noon. Convection, nighttime. 13, noon. Convection, nighttime. Nighttime activity up the border, night of the 13th, morning of the 14th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning, 15th, noon, convection, nighttime, 16, noon, convection, nighttime, 17, noon, convection, nighttime. Look down here, comes another one, another little low, and then this thing, but that's way out there, so that's the nighttime of the 17th, morning of the 18th, noon, convection, nighttime. It shows it riding that conveyor belt offshore right there. Nighttime of the 18th, morning of the 19th, noon. See this thing swirling up right there? Convection, nighttime, 20, morning, or noon. Convection, nighttime, 21, noon. Convection, nighttime, 22, noon. Convection, nighttime, 23, noon. Convection, nighttime. All right. Our main concerns right now, current hurricane, tropical storm, whatever it's lowered to now, is still just battering the East Coast. It's just dumping. North Carolina, South Carolina is on the target next. It's right here when we go into the 9th as this hurricane now gets torn away. It gets pulled up into this low up here. We talked about this last night. Here's the divide right there. This low and this thing are going to come together. Boom. And right there at noon and convection with possible enhancement from a G2, that could get very ugly in that region. They just saw flooding already. That flooding was from a regular storm. What do you think is going to happen when this hits them? I'm telling you, warn those people. Get out of there, evacuate, take precautions, take some measures, be prepared for this event to possibly cause a lot of chaos. This is good. I mean, they're already in chaos and they didn't even get this part of the storm yet. They got this part and they're in chaos. Okay? Wait until they get this and that and that until it moves offshore by the morning of the 10th. Say massive power outages, millions of people out of power. Go get batteries, candles, your propane for your camping lanterns, whatever it is, supplies that you need to get. I would get all kinds of water supplies that you could hunker down. If you plan on hunkering down in there, I would really evaluate your situation, where you live. Are you prone to flooding? Is there a creek in your backyard? Is they They're not going to be prepared, I don't think. And that's what Mike was talking about, that they're going to get flooded. They're not prepared. They're already flooded. Wait until this adds insult to injury. Are you kidding me? All right. After that, there's not much to talk about. Okay. Same kind of pattern, same flow. This thing comes up, probably ride that whole current and move on out of there. Okay. So, everybody, and this isn't just for New York. Okay. It hits this whole East Coast. Watch this. Right now, you're at your best time. It's at its weakest right now because from here on out, it just intensifies, 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 more, 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 and then finally starts to dissipate there. Everybody in that whole alley right there, I would take cover, batten down the hatches, get ready. Be prepared to have power outages. Charge your batteries, charge your phones, warn your neighbors, warn your friends. Everybody stay on top of the weather reports because that looks to be almost as bad as a hurricane right there. At noontime, when the sun's highest at the sky, this is 11 a.m. Pacific time. That makes it 12, 1, all right, 11, 12, 1, 2 in the afternoon. So pretty good convection by 2 in the afternoon. The sun's had a lot of time to, build some cloud tops. And then by the end of convection here, when the sun's going down and everything and all hell breaks loose. Here, I'm going to zoom in on that really quick and just let you guys kind of grasp this concept because this is really close now. This is not far out, and the pattern change for this is probably pretty dialed in on no changes that looks to possibly happen now. All right, so everybody in that region right there, that whole red bar that we should go right through there. Okay, and since the mainstream media won't warn you, all they'll talk about is politics, I'll get on here and tell you. Also, I'll tell you something else. Go to some other weather channels. Go to some other storm chasers, some better weather reporters that have better, apps and better predictabilities and stuff like that. Go research this storm from other sources, okay? Because this is gonna be major if it happens. If this continues on this pattern right here. And that's not far away. Let me zoom back out. That will be the nighttime of the 10th, or convection of the 9th, and nighttime of the 9th. The whole day of the 9th, because there's the 8th. Then as we go, morning time the 9th, it just starts hauling ass north. Boom, boom. Yeah, from sundown through the nighttime hours in New York, August 9th, it's going to be even up through these states too, New England states. Let me tell you something. The center of rotation of this, if it shifts 1 degree back this way, it will pull all this back 100 miles. If it shifts 1 degree this way, it will shift all this 100 miles that way. 1 degree shift in the center of rotation can change all this, and it might miss this zone and just hit right back behind it. It might miss this zone and just hit right to the other side of it. Wherever, it doesn't matter. It's the fact that this whole thing is gelling and coming together in this form and fashion that this is going to be very dangerous. Okay. I know I repeat stuff a couple of times, but it has to be done in this occasion because this is going to be serious. There's a lot of people in that area going to be, power will be down. There'll be lots of trees down, lots of large hail, tornadoes, flash flooding. No, not flash flooding. Major flooding Underground, like your tunnels, your basements, your subways will be flooded out. A lot of tunnels, a lot of subways, a lot of basements in that area will be flooded out. Start making preparations. Water diversion preparations. You can't stop water, but you can divert it and you can channel it and make it flow in different directions and create channels of least resistance, clear out storm drains of debris, and put like a wire mesh thing over it so nothing can go down in there. You need to make preparations. If you have a creek in your backyard that has some old sticks that go across it, clear all the debris out of there. Get the trench deep and get it ready, rock line it and get it ready to flow. All right, there are preparations that you can do preemptively to divert water and direct its flow. Maybe get some sump pumps if you have a basement and you have to pump water out of a lower level that you cannot divert water out of a lower level. You have to pump it out. I would get pumps. I would think about all kinds of water filtration because you're not going to be able to drink water. Water will be contaminated. It's going to be. Imagine we got so much water and then a power line falls in it and people are getting electrocuted. Do you have rubber waders for walking in water? Do you have a kayak so you can paddle up and down the street? A lot of different things to think about and ponder here. And if I were there, I would evacuate. I wouldn't even try to ride that out. I'd just be like, see ya. I'll go stay at Motel 6 in Illinois for a weekend and watch all the chaos on TV or something. But that's just cannot reiterate how important we got to monitor that. And you see all the devastation the hurricane's already doing. So this is not like out of the question. Oh my God. All right, that's enough. Enough of the geophysics, astrophysics. Let's do some metaphysics. We need it. We need it bad because a lot of crazy stuff going on, and it's all part of the process. Okay? Take a deep breath. You're with me. We're here right now. You're all good. Okay? You see this? If you don't, tilt your head to the right about 45 degrees. There's the face with hair flowing back, the chin, nose, eyes, or the crown. Okay? Happened on Easter 2020. 2,000-year-old prophecy came true. And I saw wars and rumors of wars, and I saw signs in the sun, and I saw all this stuff coming together. And, having read the Bible and known, I said, you know what? I need to keep my head up and keep looking. And meanwhile, my kids do a good job too. And they keep me kind of informed of what they capture too. And I was keyed into this area the day before, and I thought, I knew what I captured the day before at this site, and I thought, well, tomorrow being Easter, I'm going to come back to this site tomorrow, camera ready to go, and see what happens. And good thing I did, because we captured 2,000-year-old prophecy come true, the biggest headlines in human history, 2,000 years. Breaking news, by the way. Every other headline is a mouse fart. Okay? Every other headline is a mouse fart. I don't care if it's Russia doing this, or Ukraine doing that, they're doing this, all they're doing is following the script. There we go. The major news is somebody is back. And of course, you're not going to see that. You hear that on your mainstream media. You know why? Because they don't like me. But I'll tell you what, no matter if they don't like me or not, that does not change my love for you. Oh, come on with that ad. Really? I wanted to pop up a heart. All right, here we go. See it right there. Let's bounce this just a little bit further.
Snapping some pictures of the clouds yesterday, and I noticed something forming in the clouds. What looked like a face over here. And I'm going to start zooming in on this face because it's like a face over here. And I'm going to start zooming.
There we go. Right there's a good capture. Now we can see nice and clear his heart. Pulling open his shirt, exposing his heart, radiating out this face in the sky here. My face wearing a crown. Kind of like my face wearing a crown here, too. Okay? And then we got all kinds of other activity where my face is showing up. Outline of the moon. Okay, there's another. And odd thing about this one, it was actually captured while I was streaming live. At the time frame when this gentleman captured this, I was doing a live show reading my stuff to you. Okay, so the light shines, my book light shines on my face just like that, and that's me reading to you. Okay, here we go. I got some stuff for you here. I know what you guys are feeling because you send it to me and I feel it. So I interpret what you guys feeling and also stuff that I go through personally on a day-to-day level. And I bring you stuff that's hot off the street, okay? What is actually going through your heads right now and the spiritual battle stage of battle that you're at right now as well. Okay. I'm good. I'm not shining on the screen there too much. Okay. Everybody take a good old deep breath here. That's me coming in the clouds, power and great glory. If this is fascinating and intriguing, like a good book or a good movie, you get caught up in a good book. You can't stop. You can't put it down. It's a page turner, right? You get caught up in it. You get caught up in a good book or a good movie or a good YouTube stream. Well, that's me in the clouds, and you're caught up with me in the clouds. See, you're my family, and I can't, like, right now come over to your house and kick your door down and be like, hey, I'm here. So we got to meet in the air, live in YouTube, okay? So you are raptured. Technically, that word's not in the Bible. It's a feeling inside your heart that you know that you've been completed. I think we'll just kind of leave that frame, this one. These are the two main ones. Kind of that way you don't have to tilt your head. I rotated them for you a little bit there. And a little more visible. Okay, so take a sip of this, please, Lord. Okay, so I know you guys, I know you well, and I know you're troubled by fear, but what your fear, you're really troubled by fear of failure. Okay, that's what your fear is fear of failure. But my love for you will never fail. So let me describe to you what I see when I look at you. I see you just like this, but you're facing the place, okay? I see you regal. I have clothed you in my righteousness and crowned you with glory and honor. Okay, you are shining like this. You are radiant. Okay. Especially when you're looking at me, you reflect this back. When you're looking at me, you're radiant. You're looking back at me, your heart's glowing like this. You're looking back at me, you got a crown like this. All right. So, when I look at you, I see you crowned with glory and honor, radiant. And especially when you're looking at me, you are as beautiful as you reflect my glory back to me. Just like reflecting my glory back to me, put your face right here. That's how beautiful you are. You're that beautiful to me, okay? It's important that you reflect my glory back to me. So when I look at your face and your face is shining and I see your face shining, I know your heart's shining, that makes me happy, okay? So it's important that you reflect back to me how happy you are. In fact, you delight me so much that I rejoice over you with shouts of joy. I just can't do it here on YouTube. But after the show, I'm like, fuck yeah. All right? For you guys. Because I'm happy that you're finally getting some of these practices. You know, we're killing the ego. We are salvaging our day. Okay, and when you're doing that, I rejoice over you with shouts of joy. And that's how you appear to me through my grace-filled vision. Okay, I have this vision. I can see things beyond what you can see. Now you can see them now too, but I can still see beyond this and see your face there and your grace and your, how do I say this again? Your grace-filled appearance, okay? And when you're reflecting back to me and I can see the crown over your head and you're at peace and you're transcending and you're salvaging, that makes me happy, okay? Because I know that I've helped you. I like to help people. When I'm having a hard day and I'm having issues, I know that I need to start helping somebody because that's what makes me feel better. So, you delight me so much that I rejoice over you with shouts of joy, and that's how you appear in my grace-filled vision, okay? I can see you as you are now and as you will be in heaven simultaneously. I can see you as you are now and as you are in heaven at the same time. Now, viewing you in the present, I work with you on things you need to change. And seeing you from the heavenly perspective, I love you as if you were already perfect. I love you as if you were already perfect. I want you to learn to look at yourself and look at others through the lens of my unfailing love. I want you to look at others just like I replaced your face and put it right here. I want you to put other people's faces right here. See them with a crown. All right, see everybody that you deal with as a crown, with a crown. How do I say this? You got to pretend like every person you're talking to is Jesus who's pretending not to be Jesus. All right? You got to treat everybody as if you're talking to an angel, to an angelic divine entity, like you were talking to Jesus. And it's disguised as your grandma. Even though she's all mean and ragged or what, it doesn't matter. You got to talk to everybody and pretend that they are Jesus in disguise. All right? And when you do that, you are seeing people from the heavenly perspective, just like I see you from the heavenly perspective. And when that heavenly perspective, I love you as if you're already perfect. So you got to love others as if they're already perfect. You have to forgive them for their shortcomings because they know not what they do. You know what they do, but they don't. And you got to have that grace. You got to be forgiving, and you have that grace filled vision. When you have that grace filled vision, I rejoice over you. I see you then from that heavenly perspective, and I love you as if you're already perfect. Now, I want you to learn to look at yourself and others through that lens of unfailing love. And as you persevere in this quest, you will gradually find it easier to love yourself and others. Okay? As you persevere in this quest of viewing people as they were already perfect, then through the lens of my unfailing love, you will gradually find it easier to love yourself and others. It's pretty simple stuff. It's just hard to do. Okay. What is the attachment for that? It goes to that. Yeah, sure enough. Okay, so it's important you trust in me at all times. You pour out your heart to me, for I am your refuge. And the more you rely on me, the more effectively I can help you. The more you rely on me, the more effectively I can help you. Trusting me is appropriate for all circumstances, joyful and sorrowful, peaceful and stressful. In fact, things that cause you stress can serve as reminders to seek my face. So when you're stressing, it's a reminder to seek my face. Quit your stressing, okay? I want you to remember, I am with you, taking care of you, even when life hurts. Joyful, sorrowful, peaceful, and stressful, I can help you in all of those circumstances. In fact, stress is the reminder. Okay, I want you to remember, I'm taking care of you, even when your life hurts. So talk with me about your troubles, all right? It's important that you start venting your troubles to me, your worries, and then leave them with me, okay? Some of you guys are doing good. You're venting your troubles and stuff, but you kind of pick it back up and throw it in your backpack and continue on with it. It's important that once you've talked with me about it, leave it with me. Okay? Got to leave that stuff. Quit picking up rocks of drama and throwing them in your backpack and continuing to walk around with troubles on your back. Talk with me about your troubles and then leave them with me. They're for me. What do you keep bearing them for? Give them to me. I know exactly what to do with them and make nice collages out of them. And they're all triumphs that you overcame this one, you overcame that one, you overcame this one. I make beautiful collages of your overcoming. Now, I want you to remember that I am with you. Okay? I am here. I am back. I am more than just a face in the clouds. I am a man walking around, the Word made flesh, dwelling among you. When you understand that that has come true, you can trust in me at all times. Pour out your heart. Pour out your heart. You know, help me with this one, Lord. I don't want to get it wrong. When you pour out your heart to me, all right, a lot of times you guys are complaining, and that's the stuff that you need to pour out of your heart. But don't complain it. Say, Jesus, help me. Then lay in with your complaint and pour your heart out to me. But It's not a complaint. It's not complaining. When you started off with Jesus help me, the people in line are cutting in front of me. Jesus help me. And if the cuss word comes out of your mouth, that means you are pouring out your heart to me. Okay. I've heard every word in the book. You're not going to offend me. Your prayers need to pour out of your heart. I want to know what you really feel, not this fake guise that you put on for all your friends and family, this other person that you pretend to be. No, I know the real you. Deep down inside, I know the real you, and you need to pour out your heart to me. It's for you. It relieves your stress. It makes you peaceful. You find joy, and you can still be effective even in your circumstances of sorrow and in pain. Huh? I want you to talk with me about your troubles and leave them with me. Quit picking them back up. All right. Sorry. I repeat sometimes. Now, because it's important when you do that, I want you to pour out to me your troubles and then leave them with me so you can rest in my presence while I go to work on your behalf. I go to work on your behalf, but I cannot do that until you pour your heart out to me about your troubles and then leave them. You're getting good at pouring them out, but you still haven't left them with me. Some of them you're very selective. Oh, I'll leave that one, not this one. I'll hold on to this one, I'll leave that rock. No, I'll pick up the... Quit being selective. Leave them with me so you can rest in my presence while I go to work on your behalf. Tell yourself the truth about me. Use words of Scripture to describe me. You are my refuge and fortress, my God, in whom I trust. How about that one? Try saying, you are my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. When you get that in your head, you find peace. Because I am indeed your refuge, a safe place to find shelter in the storms of life. Speaking and singing such truths is an effective way to draw near me. Your mind usually has several thoughts or thought fragments passing through it at once. So instead of just thinking about me, speak out loud. This gives focus to your thoughts. What gives focus to your thoughts? Speaking about me out loud. So instead of just thinking about me, speak out loud. So it gives focus to your thoughts. And it gives trust. It shows your trust in me. I hear it verbally out loud. Ooh, then that's an indicator of some trust right there. Also, when you're on your knees, when you're praying on your knees, that tells me you mean business. That's not just a whispered prayer. Hey, by the way, think about... No. When you're on your knees, that means you mean business. Okay, that's why I pray on my knees. It feels good. I like the feeling of being on my knees and praying. It feels good. And instead of just thinking about me, speak it out loud. That's what gives focus to your thoughts and to your trust in me. Okay? When you're focusing your thoughts and speaking them out loud, you're showing your trust in me. What else might see arrow going up, over, left, right, what? Backwards over to this. Yeah. Okay. Look at that. You see this? You see this crown? That's for a reason. You see this heart? It's for a reason. Let's go to that heart real quick. Bingo, right there. I am worthy of all your confidence and all your trust. So refuse to let world events spook you. I said, stomp your foot on the ground and refuse to let world events spook you. Instead, like we were pouring out your soul, pour out your energy into trusting me and looking for evidence of my presence in the world. Pour your energy into trusting me and looking for evidence of my presence in the world. There's some evidence of my presence in the world. Here's some more evidence of my presence in the world. You know what else is evidence of my presence in the world? Did you know that that's evidence of my presence in the world? Do you know that that's evidence of my presence in the world? Here, even that is evidence of my presence in the world. My channel is. Okay? Not back studio, please. I just wanted to show the channel. All right? That's evidence of my presence in the world. Same with this. Same with this. All right? So, I am worthy of all your confidence and all your trust. Refuse to let world events spook you. Pour your energy into trusting me and looking for evidence of my presence in the world. Whisper my name to reconnect your heart and mind to me. I am near to all who call upon me. So let me wrap you up in my abiding presence and comfort you with my peace. With my peace. Comfort you with my peace. Where'd that heart go? I shouldn't have left that, but I need to show you evidence of my presence. Here's evidence of my presence.
Big heads up, Paleo Valley's running.
Even that's evidence of my presence.
Right now. You can get 36 for $36.
Start zooming in.
There we go. I am worthy of your confidence and your trust. So refuse to let things spook you. Pour your trust into looking for evidence of me. Whisper my name and reconnect your heart to me. Okay? Remember, I am both loving and faithful. My love reaches to the heavens and my faithfulness to the skies. Doesn't it? Come back one more frame right there. No, right. Doesn't this evidence reach to the heavens and present itself in the skies? I am both loving and faithful. My love reaches to the heavens, my faithfulness to the skies. See my faithfulness in the sky right there? Do you see my faithfulness in the sky right here? Do you see my faithfulness in the heavens? Yeah. Making everything come true, making everything new, and grabbing some of my family along the way, because I am worthy of your confidence and trust. I am near to all who call upon me, and let me wrap you in my abiding presence. My love reaches to the heavens, my faithfulness to the skies. And this means you can never come to the end of my love. It just keeps going. You'll never come to the end of my love. It's limitless and everlasting. and you can stand on the rock of my faithfulness. How many times have I told you this is the rock? This is your foundation. You can stand on the rock of my faithfulness, no matter what circumstances you may be facing. Okay, people routinely put their confidence in their abilities, their education, their wealth, and their appearance. But I urge you to place your confidence fully in me, the Savior whose sacrificial death and miraculous resurrection opened the way for you into eternal glory. Whose sacrificial death, miraculous resurrection, and reincarnation and return. You can tack that on there now too, because I am back in the flesh. That's incarnate. I reincarnated. So, I'm the Savior whose sacrificial death, miraculous resurrection, and reincarnation opened the way for you into eternal glory. You have it right now. You have eternal glory already right now as you're looking at that. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to close with this because... Okay, good. Critters are now good. All right, so... One last little closer here. Want this image nice and perfect. I want it perfect, Lord. I want that heart right in her face. I want it right there. All right. There. Oh, we'll get it. Right there is good. All right. As long as you can see our Savior opening up his shirt, pouring out his heart, okay? Let me satisfy you with my unfailing love, that may sing for joy and be glad all your days. Most people seek satisfaction in vast variety of hurtful ways, many of which are addicting. Even good things can fail to satisfy you if you elevate them above me. So come to me with your emptiness and longings. Sit quietly in my presence, communing with me. Invite me to fill you up to the full with my limitless love. And then ponder how high, how wide, how long, and how deep is this vast ocean of blessing. Every single thing that you do is a blessing now. Do you see all the blessings? The air you breathe, the weather that you had, the protection on the roads, the protection in the store, everything. Every single thing is a blessing. All of a sudden, when you look, you will ponder. You will look and you will ponder how wide and long and high and deep this vast ocean of blessing and love. Finding your satisfaction in me, above all else, provides a firm foundation for your life. Firm foundation, again, your firm foundation you can build on for your life. And building on this solid foundation enables you to be joyful and glad as you go through your days. Remember, your days, each day, and then sometimes we got to salvage a day, right? Your days, each one, count, right? They're important, especially we're getting close to the end here. So, finding your satisfaction in me, above all else, provides that firm foundation for your life. Then, building on that foundation enables you to be joy and glad as you go through your days. You will still encounter hardships because you live in this broken world, but I will lovingly guide you along your way as you cling to me and trust. Then your life will be meaningful and satisfying while you're traveling towards your ultimate goal, the gates of glory, the gates of heaven. You guys are already traveling there. You are indeed finding satisfaction in me. It's providing a firm foundation. You are indeed building on this solid foundation. It's enabling some of you to be joyful and glad, even in your circumstances. You still encounter hardships because this broken world, but I lovingly guide you along your way as you cling to me and trust. Okay? The more you cling to me and trust, the more I can lovingly guide you. Sometimes you don't cling so hard with that trust, and the guidance doesn't stick as well. So it's proportional. The more you cling to me and trust, the more I lovingly guide your way. Then your life becomes meaningful and satisfying. In this world, nothing satisfies. In this world, hardly. What's the meaning of life? Huh? Does your life have meaning or not? Well, it does now, doesn't it? It does now that you met me. Now that you know that I'm a real person who's here, you are seeing my face in the clouds on Easter. A 2,000-year-old prophecy came true on Easter, and you're looking at my face in the clouds. You're caught up with me in the clouds. I can't physically come over to your house right now, but we, as our family, get to meet in the air of cyberspace via live stream YouTube or even replay. Okay, via YouTube, via the cyberspace, the air. We met in the air. And I completed your faith. You are now complete. Your faith has been taken to a new level, to knowing. And when you know, all of a sudden you understand your prayers are real. Your prayers are heard. There is power behind your prayers. Okay? You guys are practicing the disciplines I've been teaching you, and you're finding relief. You're finding peace that transcends your circumstances, and I'm so happy for you. And I get to put your face right there, and you just shine right back at me. And I just shine right back at you, and you just shine right back at me. We're just shining at each other, okay? Meanwhile, everybody else is like turds getting flushed down the toilet. Over here, we're just happy, smiling at each other, got peace. We got stillness. We got courage. All that transcends your circumstances. Okay? I love you guys. You understand that? I love you. I miss you. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back, and the world is shaking in their boots. Not you. You guys are over here with joy in your heart. That's the way it's supposed to be. Love you all, and until my next show, I'll be back. I'm already back. Can't you tell?